Hi, my name is Sarah Watkins, and I'm presenting to you my personal managerial philosophy, what I'm calling the philosophy of the 4 E's. So to jump right in, Evans and O'Leary, Chapter 9, states that change is constant, and successful organizations address change proactively. To practice innovation and creation, one must have a staff who is on board and excited about these potential changes. Our class considered change management in week 4, and in that worksheet, I reflected on change in my library and found this example of something that I did throughout this semester. So as we discussed theories from our lessons, I applied it to situations that I was living in real life, which was really beneficial when it came time to think of my personal leadership philosophy. I already had a good idea of what I would like to accomplish, and from there I looked into the best ways to accomplish the goals I had for myself that I could learn to lead others with, which is how I came up with the philosophy of the 4 E's. So my first E would be education. Evans and O'Leary state in Chapter 20 that one of the best ways to reduce conflict is to have in place a code of ethics, both professionally and organizationally. A written code or standard is also a really good way that you can communicate with your staff the standards and expectations that you have with them, and it also gives them a baseline of reference. Not only that, the more educated your staff is, the more they understand what they're truly working towards. So I don't know about you, but with me, I work with a lot of people who do not have a degree in library science. So I think it's really important that we discuss these theories and honestly all these strategies that have been put forth by other people in the industry and make sure that they know about them, including the ALA Code of Ethics and informational freedom and really just intellectual freedom, really just trying to make sure that they understand everything that goes into making a library versus just circulation. So I think that education is key in finding that positive workflow, and that it's really great to have a strategic direction to help the decision-making process with your staff, and it allows flexibility for a person to create personal goals that align with that mission. But you wouldn't know that unless you educated them. My second E is empathy. So this is going beyond the basics of communicating with your staff. It's having a staff that's truly willing to work with you as a manager. You should be open to hear their ideas and their concerns. So as a leader, we should be willing to understand our employees on an intimate level, and we need to acknowledge diversity and different personality type, which we talked in week 1 and weeks 8 and 9 in our diversity discussions. So not only does being empathetic create stronger bonds, it gives us invaluable insight as a manager of difficulties that our staff might be encountering in the organization. As a leader, we have difficult conversations with fellow employees, which we did in this semester, and I did again earlier this week. It's important in these instances to understand that confrontation's hard, but it doesn't have to end poorly. Being empathetic allows someone to voice their opinions, keep the conversation moving, and opens up pathways to solutions versus the outcome feeling one-sided or overbearing. My third E, I was not actually going to include, but decided to include last minute. It is encouragement. So I'll tell you, I was not going to do this, but I was talking to this project to one of my shelvers, and she's just cute as a button. She's petite and small, and I want to keep her in my pocket. And she thought that encouragement would be a great E to add to this presentation, because she said that she just thinks I'm an overall encouraging person in my position at the library already. And I think it is really important to add that into the philosophy that you need to touch base with the people that we're working with on, especially when they're working on projects for you, to make sure there are no speed bumps, and then see if there's something that could work better and allow them to explore in that space that you give them. It's also really great to touch base on how projects have ended. Hey, you prepped for me for craft night. We had 12 people attend, and they really liked your examples. Thank you so much. You did a really great job. So my director, who's also my mentor, has told me 2 things repeatedly. One of them is always have time to talk, and then 2 is to make sure that you acknowledge people's progress, no matter how small. Particularly when a person is starting out in a new role, it's really nice to hear those encouraging thoughts and feelings. So my last E, which this leads over to, is empowerment. I believe the other philosophy E's I'm sorry, should help staff feel confident in their ability in the workplace. Chapter 9 in Evans and O'Leary highlights the importance of innovative thinking for forward progress in libraries. And I believe that when staff had the freedom and foundation to make well thought out, educated decisions, they feel competent to complete tasks that are given to them and ask when they need direction. And this empowers them in their place of employment. So, an empowered employee, an excited employee, no matter what title, is truly invaluable in our industry. So in this video, I referenced Management Basics 2013 by Evans and O'Leary. And I just wanted to thank you, 524. It's been a really awesome semester. Thank you, Melissa, for all the great contents that you've shared with us.